recording on this computer. We are live on the Facebooks. Mate, Matt, you and I are now 2017 compliant, where we're streaming everywhere. Oh, mate, you've been 2017 compliant since 2015. Me, I'm playing catch up, bro.
How are you, Twiddle?
Yeah, good, man. I feel like I've been spending about 3 or 4 hours with you because we've had a couple of calls in the last, week or so. But I've just spent all morning this morning watching a keynote of yours, life videos, LYFE for you guys. Check those. I've spent hours with you this morning, man, and you don't even know it, bro. So it's good to catch up again, man. Been too long coming. You've been too busy. You've been too busy. Mate, how is the before? Because we are here today to help some people. You know what I mean? It's this new, really subversive and sneaky tactic I've got of convincing my audience, the marketplace, that we can help people by, heaven forbid, this sneaky tactic called actually helping people. I know it's submissive and innovative and really sneaky, but that's what we're here to do today. But mate, for those of you who, there's a whole bunch of my guys who've loved you for years, who've seen you over the last, 5, however many years, 5 even more years, in and around different seminars I've done and stuff. Mate, bring us up to speed with 2017, because you've gone to a whole new level, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, I think. Well, I mean, I just always keep reaching, so things just keep happening. But yeah, like, my results are the best they've ever been. Our company is exploding. I'm really after this energy mastery thing.
Yep.
So that's something that I can see goes hand in hand with results. Yeah, trying to keep my personal life as a priority as well, but that's just work in progress.
I remember you said that to me, maybe 2012 or 13, and you said, Twids, I reckon I can do it. I reckon I've nailed it. I reckon I can get this thing so that I can help Logan get to his goals, because that was when Logan was just starting to show signs of being able to be a pro. You said, I reckon I can do that. I reckon I can, look after, for those who don't know, Matt's 6 kids. I reckon I can be a good dad, mentor, father, agent, business owner, and you didn't throw speaker into that mix, but then a year ago you throw international speaker into that mix. And man, you've freaking done what you hypothesized 4 years ago.
Well, not international speaker. That's not even nearly there yet.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the stuff, you didn't talk about that. You only threw that into the mix this year. But the stuff you spoke about 4 years ago, man, done. Tick the box.
Yeah, thanks. Well, yeah, funny enough, I'm at the place in my career where I don't really want any more growth. Like, I just want to maintain where it's at. So last year we wrote like 5 million something. And I just my team, and I'm happy with that. I don't need any more. So now it's just about tweaking, refining, better service. I mean, the ball was dropped a few times along the way last year, where it made me sort of sharpen up because you can get a little bit complacent sometimes when you've got so much volume, like too much volume coming at you. So, but it's good. It's what I wanted to create in the beginning. So there you go.
Yeah, and you've done it, man. And now actually there's something, it leads me to the first question. And I was just on a USA webinar, and a guy, a couple of people have reached out to me, but one in particular that I want to throw our first question to you. Now, before we do that though, because this person isn't interested in 5 million. And in fact, $5 million will freak this young man out. And I don't even know how old this person is, but he's saying he's wanting to build a brand. And he said, are you willing to help an unknown? Right. So that means, I don't know if he's young, but he's young in his career of building a great personal brand, whether he's 16, 18 or 50 or 70, whatever. And the advice I told him was jump on the Facebook Live I'm about to do with Matt Steinwede, and you're going to be my first question. So this question might be, how does a guy who's about to write 5 million, or who has written 5 million in the last, and that's your personal team, what is that guy, what can you add to this fellow and anyone who's just writing 60 grand, where 5 million almost says, oh, well, I guess I'll jump off this podcast, this thing, because yeah, this must be only for people doing millions, you know. And I'll finish the way this guy has worded it. And I'm so glad you reached out to me. His name's Michael. In unity with my efforts to build my business, I need to build my brand. Are you willing to help an unknown to get known, grown, and to a point where I don't feel so alone? And Michael, I apologize for reading this word for word, but because I know that this is you bearing your soul to me, and I appreciate it. And the advice I gave him, Matt, was jump on this with me and you, right? And he says he feels alone. I'm feeling discouraged, but I'm loaded with tenacity. And he said, I'm going to try and catch your Facebook Live, because that's what I said on the Facebook Live in America, that I was doing this as soon as I was getting off that podcast. So, mate, what would you say to Michael? Starting to build a brand, and there he's bearing his soul to us that he's feeling alone in this business, which it can be. Mate, you've got a magic power to help people like that, and I've seen it. What would your take be on that?
How long has he been doing it for?
Michael, if you could either PM me with a few more details, that'd be helpful. And while we get those details, Matt, if you could just speak to, I suppose, overall the concept of why is a $5 million guy helpful to a $60,000 someone who's just starting out?
Well, because I've been there, it took me years to actually get anything to happen. So it was like, and I don't think the number is important. So it's probably about understanding. It interests me how he says he's discouraged, but full of tenacity. So it's really interesting, because you can only get discouraged if you feel like you're not meeting your own expectation. I've never been discouraged in my entire career. Sure, you get disappointed when you lose a listing or don't get invited or whatever, but my hunger way outweighed any self-judgment. Like, it was, I always knew I would become successful. And I think when you have that thing and you're not really looking for it, you get discouraged when you look for it too much. You know, like, you think you should be somewhere where you're not. And, you know, for the first year, I didn't list anything. And then the next year, and took 3 years, 4 years to even get any sort of traction. So I was more interested in getting in front than I was like thinking I should be somewhere. So I was like more interested in, how do I run faster than everybody else? How do I apply myself more than everybody else that other people have trouble keeping up with me? That was really my tool. So I think sometimes we can overcomplicate this thing so much, because you listen to trainers, people, coaches, all this sort of stuff, and there's all these tools that you should be using and should be doing. But really what it comes down to is, at first, how fast you can run. I really believe that. Once you get a certain amount of momentum, like, because you are everywhere, and I mean everywhere, and you just forget about the time. Like, if you have a rhythm that you stick to every day, that's a stretch, and I call it lockdown mode for 5 years. If you say, okay, I'm just going to dedicate myself for the next 5 years to outrun everybody, just that, just don't think about anything else. There's lots of other things. But if you have that in your mind, then you can't be discouraged. You can't be.
Because you're not tied to that outcome. You're just tied to the activity.
Yeah, you're just applying the fuel. Like, you're literally just revving things up. Like, even now, 25 years into my career, like, I feel like I'm just revving it up even more now. Like, wow. And when I say even more, like, how do I refine the art of service now? That's my question in my mind. So how do I refine the art of service that my competitors have trouble keeping up with me? I've done the run. I've done all the running. So I've got the profile, I've done the running, I've got the volume. Now I need to, like, even just turn it harder. So, like, when people deal with me, the service is so good that they deal with another real estate agent and they go, wow, this is like miles apart. That's the quest that I'm on now. So Michael, I would never feel discouraged. I think that in itself will send you backwards.
Let me add you a little bit more detail that he sent through. And congratulations, Michael, for being, bearing your soul, brother. I really appreciate it. So 3 years in the business, so 3 years in the industry. Before I finish that, you just mentioned something that I hope people didn't miss. where were you at the 3-year mark as far as success was concerned? At Michael's stage, where were you?
I was nowhere. I door knocked for 5 years every day. Like I was nowhere.
Because I remember I had a student and I texted you maybe a month or two ago and I said, how was your first year? And you said, I didn't list anything for 2 years.
Yeah.
People would say that Matt Steinwade's lying, and I know you're incapable of lying, but no one would believe that when they see the Matt Steinwade legend now. You know?
No. It wasn't until my third office move that things started to come together a little bit. And it wasn't a move because things weren't going good. I just I got offered other things that I thought was the next step. So I moved 4 times before I got into Terrigal. Well, Terrigal was my 4th move, and then I found my home. But yeah, I just used to walk the streets every day and ask people if they want to sell their house, and it wasn't very successful, but it was later. So that compound interest effect was, yeah. Look, I think you've got to just cut out all of the fluffy stuff in the beginning. I'd really love to go hang out with Michael for a day. I'd love to hang out with him and just work with him and see what he does.
Michael, what city are you in? What city are you in, Michael? Because you got to be scared when Matt says shit like that, because he has an uncanny way of making crazy real, making unrealistic happen.
I would love to just hang out with him from 5 a.m. till 8 at night and just see what he did, because there's definitely a rhythm that if you have your own rhythm that is going to be, it's like a momentum rhythm. And I still have it today. It's slightly changed today, but it's like if you stick to that rhythm, you can almost feel it getting, not straight away, but over time, you can almost feel the wave picking up. You know, real estate can be a very reactive game where people come in, answer a call, they do this, they do that, they get nowhere. They're running around in circles, just doing busy stuff. But there's certain tasks in this business that if you just stick to those as your number one priority and almost get your joy from having those done, it'll you get to the end of the day, you might have no results, but you almost get to the end of the day and go, yes, I'm a little bit further than the rest. For instance, when I hand delivered letters, say 200 letters every morning, or even call it 100 letters every morning, in my mind, by 6 o'clock in the morning, I knew I was 100 contacts in front of my competition. And then the day would start, and then and do all the other things. And I know we talk about prospecting, but prospecting is our secret weapon. It just is. It's like Logan surfing. He's 14 years old. You can see the kids at 14 years old now that have trained 30 or 40 hours a week, the kids he surfs against. So there's a mini little tour that they all go on every half of the year. I just got back from the sunny coast watching him. You can see the definite edge that about 5 kids have over the 50 or more, 100 that they compete with. You can just see it, because it's been that much each day that they've done a little bit more, that much.
And so I'm going to read a little bit more of Michael now, but if that compound interest effect that you sort of glossed over, because it's second nature to you. But maybe if Michael hasn't heard that, I don't know if that can be parlayed into your answer, but I'd love it for Michael and for anyone listening, a little bit more on what that compound interest effect is. But let me just read this. I was on a team as a listing agent. So as you know, Matt, in America, they have listing and selling sides, so to speak. I left that team, Keller Williams, on 10/1, and I don't know what that means, Michael, 10/1, and went to another brokerage to build my business. So I assume he means that his own EBU, so to speak. I'm not meeting my own expectations as a single agent. I door knock and call expireds. Also introduce myself to people in markets when I'm out and about in town. Now building my own brand, I'm starting over. So
does he work a patch?
Yeah, good question. 10/1 is 10th of October this year. So he's only just left that team. So he's starting a new deal and he's a month in. Yeah. So, Michael, do you work a specific geographic area geographically that we call down here a patch, like a farm area, you might call it something like that. Do you
but
work
1,000 to 2,000 homes? Not like he might go, yeah, I work North America or something.
Yeah, that's right.
But like just 1,000 or two. There is one thing, Twids, that I sit in front of you right now. One thing, that there is a formula for success in this business. Mm-hmm. There is a formula you do not have to think about. Yep. If you apply this formula, you will become the most successful agent in your area, in New South Wales, in Australia.
In Seattle.
In Seattle, anywhere. You can take it to China and do the same thing. There is 100% a formula. And I think, I'd love to know if he works at a 1,500
He's typing, so we'll see. Come on, Michael, hustle, my man. How many, have you got a patch? And if so, how many homes is it? I work, see, here's the scary thing. I work multiple areas, Seattle to Bellingham. Now, you and I don't know where Seattle to Bellingham is, Matt, but that ain't 1,000 homes.
Yeah, 1,000 homes. 1,000 homes will set you free. And it's, once you do, you've got to see it like a ripple effect. It's the ripple effect that how you build your profile. And I think we as an agent, we're like, whoa, like we need to do all this stuff and we need to meet all these buyers. And that's what I was saying before. It's this very reactive business. I'll go meet this person. I don't want to meet anybody new. I only want to see people in my core area. And over time, you meet new people for sure. But if you can get your core area right, it will help you become one of the most successful agents in the business. And
Matt, he's just added in here, and this is going to scare you, Matt. Now, you've got to be gentle. He's new to our world, Matt. It's a 140-mile radius. Be gentle, you so-and-so, Matthew. Come on.
Here's where the business gets really good, when you have uncontested listings. So uncontested listings is where the fun is. Go into a house. I just listed one around the corner the other day. It doesn't call anybody in. Just, here you go. Fee's not a problem. Marketing's not a problem. Nothing else. And half of my business is that now. And it's not just referral business. It's people that have seen your success. They say to you, I've tracked your success over the last 20 years. It's a powerful message. I'm the only agent, I reckon. There's probably one other that sticks to the model that I stick to. If I was working in this area, I would be watching what I do and just do the same thing. Not in my area, because I would just turn up the run again. Because once you get the traction, it's hard for other agents to keep up. Even if they start to, you just turn it up a bit more and run faster, and then you leave them behind.
Yep. I've often had people, our mutual friend Chris Gilmore has had some people from time to time near him. And I've said, just go 3 or 4 lots of 1,000 homes away from him, because the path of least resistance to your success is not to go up against a Matt Steinwede directly. Just 2 or 3 across.
Yeah. About 10 years ago, or maybe about that, maybe 8 years ago, there was a lady who worked in here, and she worked with me as my PA. She sort of went into sales, helped her out. I said to her, you can have my core area, the whole lot, and I'll help you run it. So she did, and I was helping her take it over basically. And I was just going to maybe focus on upper end stuff. At the time I was thinking, I can help her get started, and it's a great area. I've always had the same market share. And then about 2 years later, she left and opened an office in my core area to take all of the stuff. And this is where traction and momentum is important. I just went, okay then. So I went back into it, turned the heat right up, ran as fast as I could, some great marketing things, whatever. After a while, after about 5 years, shut her office down. She's working back here again.
Wow. And I know that could, I know that, if someone's first time listening to us, that might sound, not narky, but there isn't a shred of, there's just a lesson there with no negativity in that statement whatsoever, is there?
It's just, I had already established that nothing good happens in this business without the momentum. I'm telling you, it's like, it's that critical zone that most agents don't get to. It's this, they sort of have these months like this. You want this momentum because half your income comes from your core area. If you can get that to happen where every month you're going to get 5 or 6 sales from your core area, then 5 or 6 sales from somewhere else, it's pretty healthy existence. And then, so what I was saying is, even when someone like that tries to compete with you in your core area, you've already got this traction that you can tweak like an accelerator. You know, sometimes you can cruise, sometimes you need to put it down and fly. But you've got that ability to do that. So that's where everyone listening to this that's where I'd love to help them get.
I love it. So Michael, I'm going to make you an offer, and I'll talk to you about off camera. I'm going to talk to you about this, but you know, if we can get Matt to come to Seattle, great. But I tell you that, and I want to go and take Matt to the States in the next year or so. Is there surf there? No, I think Seattle's in the middle, man. But man, Michael, I'm going to talk to you about getting you down to Australia to spend a day with Matt next year, a full day with Matt. And it may not be in your hometown, but I promise you, if you can get there, now I'm going to put it on you to find a way to get your butt down here, but I'm going to waive the ticket price for you, man. And years from now, like, I'll pay Matt. Like, Matt's got a ticket price on it. I'm going to pay Matt. And, well, there you go. If Matt's saying don't worry about it, then you just get here, man. It'll be a pain in the butt for you to rustle up a couple of grand to fly to Australia or New Zealand, but your life's going to change, my man, in 2018 if you want it to. And here's the test of your tenacity. Here's the test of your, how did you word it? Yeah, loaded with tenacity. Here's your test. Get to Australia, and I'll give you the dates, and that'll be the test of your tenacity. Let's see. I love it, Matt. You're a freaking champion, brother. You said there's surf here. How can there be surf in Seattle? I thought it was inland.
I'll go there.
You'll go there. I don't know how there is. Anyway, there you go, Matt. We will talk further. There you go. I love it. All right, let's go to the next question. Naomi's feeding them through to me on the chat. So thank you, Gnomes. It's very cool. Now, Matt, you might give a shorter, because that was a long-ass answer because it was so good and so universally applicable. Let me go to Rebecca's question, which you may answer quickly or you may not answer at all because it's a very niched question. I've been in the industry 7 months. Sorry, my apologies. I've been in the industry 7 months, and I need to know how to deal with multiple offers. I've sold 6 houses so far, but don't know how best to negotiate multiple offers. And I know, Matt, that's not your, like, training in that isn't your primary thing, but that's what Rebecca's asked. What would you say?
You need space. So with multiple offers, you need space, and you have to sort of understand where, see, negotiation starts when you meet people. It doesn't start when you meet them at the property. They start negotiating on it. So this is why, if you've been dealing with the people for a while, the questions that you ask, you're building an arsenal to understand what their stretch points are. So if you haven't had the luxury of that and you're dealing with multiple offers, you definitely need to not like get so excited. You're trying to deal with the offer straight away, whatever. You got to just push it all back for a minute. You got to look at the person. You got to look at how their rhythm of how they've started negotiating, because always remember there's going to be a heightened sense of emotion at some point, and if that's not handled right, it could all fall down. Okay, so it's like, can we get a scenario? 3 people, 4 people?
Or do you want to sort of role play kind of thing?
Well, sort of role play. If we build a scenario, let's say you've got 4 offers on a property. Mm-hmm. You've got to understand if it's a price guide enough, the auction and price guide, there's so many different scenarios.
Multiple offers, I would suggest, would be not auction. It would probably be private treaty, but with multiple people wanting to buy the property.
Okay, let's just talk about one I had now. So 800 to 850 went on the market. 4 offers on it. 830, 832, 850, something else. Or another guy that would have offered 850, but I told him not to for the moment. I needed to understand where everything was at. So that's what I mean. You've got to stay in control of this thing. Just because people are throwing offers at you, sometimes you just need to say, just stop for a minute. I need to understand where everybody is. Because you need to make clear decisions. I changed the price guide to 850 to 900 straight away. And I went back to every single person and said, there's 4 people. I'm always transparent with people. There's 4 people on it. At the moment, the current interest is around 850. it looks like it's going to sell for more than that, because it's really hard to negotiate higher if people think you're just driving them there. So I changed it on the net as well. And I said, this is the range that we'll be dealing with now. And whatever the competition brings, it'll probably be at the top of that range. Are you in or out? I want to understand, where's their emotion on this thing? So 2 people dropped off. I was left with 2 people. And I've just got a third now, another one. So I've just got an offer text to me at 870,000 just now, unconditional offer 870, just before I came to this webinar.
Wow.
And the other 2 people, I said to one of the guys yesterday, and now when you say things to people, you've got to be sure that you're not going to lose them. Like you have to be sure. That's why space is important. This has been going for 3 days. I could have tried to wrap it up on the first day, but I felt the outcome is never good when it happens too quick. All right, so I've sort of allowed everybody to sort of breathe a bit. And with that breathing space, you'll find that people will either naturally get heightened, more in, or they'll drop off. You'll see it happen. And then you're in control. She's asking this question. Was it Michelle?
Rebecca.
Sorry, Rebecca. Michael was the last person. Rebecca's asking this because it's hard to handle. It's like, it creates anxiety. It creates unhappy people if it's not handled right. And it shouldn't do that. Yes, it does happen, but it shouldn't do it. That's why you need to keep the control with you. When there's too much going on, you lose control, and it's like it becomes an unpleasant experience. So that's why she's asking. So if you just look at that scenario there, I could have kept negotiating past 850, but what happens then is it brings uncertainty to the buyers. They feel like you're just trying to guide it, like play each person off the other. Whereas when I change the price guide, it's clear. It's like not myself taking it anywhere, but I would say to them, look, this is the range it's going to be in now. Are you in or are you out? Because I want to understand, where's their emotion at this point. So that would be the first thing that I would say. Then you pick your 2 top buyers, and automatically I would say to them, I think it's going to end up at the top of this range. How do you feel about it? Yes, no?
Cool. Yep. I'm in. So we're role playing now. I'm in.
I feel it's going to be at the top of this range.
Yeah, no, I'm in. Yeah, or whatever. Yep.
Now, mind you, it's at 850, so that was the top of the last range. How would you feel as a buyer, Twids? So I feel it's going to be at the top of this range.
Yeah, no, well, we're in. Yeah, we're in. Yeah.
Okay,
what's it gonna take, Matt? You know, just be straight with me. What's it gonna take? Because that's the question.
Okay, cool. I was just about to say to you, Twids, if it got to 900, are you in or are you out?
Jesus, mate. I'm gonna have to talk to the missus. What's the deadline?
No deadline. I just got to get a sense of where everybody's at. One, to let you know, but also to let the owners know so they can have some clarity around their decision making. So if it
keep us in.
Yeah. Okay. So right there, I got a buyer at 900. I haven't asked them for an offer, but I've got a buyer at 900. Now I just need to get a sense of where the other person's at. And this is the danger with multiple offers. If you just bounce them off each other and don't manage it like that, you could end up at 871, but you've got a buyer that would have paid 900. So right now, I have a buyer that will pay 890, and the other buyer's pulled up at 870. But if I just bounce offers backwards and forwards between them, without, I could keep pretending if I was, if I had no integrity. But just by asking the right questions early, not in the heat of negotiation, earlier, then I can get a sense of where everybody's at emotionally.
Yeah.
Then you can make some clear decisions.
And so let's play devil's advocate. Let's say I wasn't so in love with it, and I said, "Nah, Matt, at 860, mate, any more than 860, we're out."
So if it got to 870, just keep you out of the loop?
Yeah, keep us out.
For sure?
Yep.
Okay, great. Now I know where you're at emotionally.
Yeah.
Okay, but I would have the same conversations with the other buyers. So if I've got 3 or 4 buyers, and here's the thing, you've just said to me at 900, it's like chess, it's the same. Yeah. I've got to know where all the things are ahead of time to make the right moves. You said to me 900, I go have a conversation with the other buyer as well. If it gets to 900, are you in or out? I'm not saying I've got another buyer or anything. If it gets to that, are you in or out? If another buyer says yes, I'm definitely in. I would, and you guys are the two standouts, I would come back to you, both of you immediately and say, I've got some interest at 900. It looks like it's going to go beyond that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, okay. Can't be much more than that, mate, or I'm out.
Yeah, see, now I can get a sense of where's your emotional cutoff happening and I can make some decisions around it. Yeah? Do you see what I mean? I'm not saying this or that. I'm building a picture. You have to build a picture as a great negotiator so you can inform people, guide people. And you're not getting offside with me. I'm sort of saying, look, this is where I think. This is how it's looking. And it feels like I'm guiding you. I'm not telling you, I've got an offer of $895. Oh, sorry about that now. I've got an offer of $897. Oh, sorry about that. It's just, that's how you handle it, and it's going to end up in a mess.
Well, and in some states, that's going to end up in court, because in some states, that's illegal. That it has to be, you're not allowed to say, Matt, I got $895. You're going to give me $900. That's what auction's for. And in private treaty in some states, you're not allowed to do that. So
totally. You know, quite often, Twids, I won't even, I'll get an offer and like, I'll just don't do anything about it. Like I just drive around and go about my work. And then like, I might get it at 9 in the morning, and then I might ring the owners at 3:30 in the other. But I feel this moment, I call it the angels talk to me, but I feel this moment that now is the right time to ring. When my energy's in the right space, when I feel, I don't know why, I've had a prompt to call the owners because they're probably going to be a bit freer. That's what I think anyway. The right energy's lining up. Because when you get too into it, owners can hear it in your voice as well. And it all sounds a bit too adrenaline filled. But when you ring as a consultant and say, this is where we're at, this is how I feel about it. And they'll quite often say, what do you think we should do? And then I'll say, like today, I've had an owner come in to me because he's got an offer on his property, and he said, what do you think I should do? I said, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm just going to digest it and let's talk again tomorrow, and then we'll just see how it feels. And he's like, yeah, that's great, because he's quite anxious about it. So always remember, the most dominant energy will win. So if I bring certainty and calm, that's how they're going to feel about it. And I'll bring it together in a really nice way. When it feels all it never goes good.
Yeah, I love how, and you do that to me, man. You do that to me. I'm freaking out that I've extended myself insanely and booked Richard Branson or something, some of the crazy shit I've done. And man, you have that air of, I'm not even your client, and yet you manage our state because you're so freaking calm about everything. I'm freaking out. And similarly, I love how you do that for your sellers as well, because I've experienced it firsthand. And man, I love that you know how valuable that is to us. You know what I mean?
It's an energy game. I know I talk about energy a lot, but it's an energy game. Anyway, that's another discussion.
Yeah. But here's the thing, you're right, but no one should be put off by that word, because I'm the least, let's just say, I don't know what the word is, but woo-woo and putting weird stuff around that word energy. I'm the least open to that. And yet I know exactly what you mean as a person who's been there, that I'm sure people can feel that you and I have no secondary motive with regards to this. Sure, there's a banner up the top that says A Day with Matt, but right now in this moment, we're here helping Michael. We're here helping Rebecca. And people will be able to feel if we had we could call it energy about that. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about selling tickets and things. So.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, and that's the thing, and that's
yeah.
And isn't it funny that I'm all about hustle and all about kind of doing business my way. You're at the other end of the spectrum, and yet you and I have been mates for years, and we find somewhere in the middle to kind of. And I reckon somewhere in the middle of us is the next Tony Robbins, bro. Hey, so I reckon if we could somehow hybrid you and me, we got the next Tony Robbins. All right, let's get on to the next question. Dave Walker. But I really hope, Rebecca, that some of those principles and even some of those scripts have really helped you with multiple offers, because, that's some good stuff there. So, Rebecca, I hope any more info you need on that, maybe just put some comments below, and some of us can sort of follow up and type in some.
If she wants.
Yeah, cool. So thanks, Rebecca, for that. Much appreciated. Dave Walker says, "Hey, Matt, you are a legend." Always a good way to start a comment. Hey, Matt, you're a legend. I've followed your prospecting system to a T, and I've never looked back. Thank you, mate. And there you go. There's no question there. It's just very cool. All right. So Mick asks, as a newbie into the industry, I love this. I heard this answer this morning on your YouTube channel, Matt. But let me ask the question, and you might even just say, go to the keynote I did on my YouTube channel. But Mick asks, as a newbie into the industry, where should I start with prospecting? So we've already ascertained with Mick, geographic farm area. What specifically maybe should Mick do when he's starting out his prospecting?
Yeah, just be really active. I think it is just about, you got to think the number though. So, 9 to 12 contacts, people start to recognize you. So whether it's cold calling, you got to think of the contact, not the lead generation. And I get companies want lead generation, but you've got to think, hopefully they're a longer term vision company. So it's like every time I met someone, I'd be like, cool, almost like a tick in the box. I wasn't really looking for anything. Yeah, I was like, I'll list their house in 10 years time. I'll list their house in 20 years time. Like whatever, at some point I will. So I was more like, okay, there's one. So it doesn't matter. Face-to-face is always good. So I built my career on letters, plain old letters, folded them at midnight, fold them until midnight, get up and hand deliver them, then door knock and cold call. So I know that's not breaking stuff, but it's more the consistency of the contacts that's going to help you reap the rewards.
Yeah, I think I heard you say once, and I may be misquoting it, I may be quoting someone else that I attributed to you, but it was something along the lines when even one of your contact points was just your business card stapled to letterhead. And I think I heard you saying it's more important that you send than what you send.
Yeah, totally. My letters, every 4 weeks, my core area will get a letter from me, and it would just be anything. It would just be like, the market's really good. If you want me to come and check out your house, so be it. Or a card, paperclip to the top with just in case you need it. Call me. Hotspot letter, one saying your home's in a residential hotspot. It's the best letter in the world, that one. So it was more like they're just always, people love consistency. It's like when you work for a company, if you work for a company that has inconsistency, it doesn't feel great. The good thing about McGrath, even though the share price isn't very good, but it's like McGrath, it's like everything's consistent about it. The way we do business, the brand, it's very solid. You got to see the same as building your brand in your core area. If every 4 weeks you're going to get a letter, like these gingerbread houses, or they're out there, but these gingerbread houses I've delivered for, 15 years plus, people actually go, our Christmases wouldn't be the same without the gingerbread houses. Do you know what I mean? So it's like every single thing you do, that's why your day is so important. Forget the month and forget the quarter. It all takes care of itself. It's the day. So if you're going to commit to 100 letters, 30 door knocks, and 20 cold calls every day, that's your rhythm. That's your ingredient. Forget this 100 call business. That is mind-numbingly stupid. It's like, I would rather just have really great focused energy over a chunk that I feel is a bit of a stretch, but also that you can do, like that you can implement every day. Because if you do 100 calls, it's like eating chocolate every day. If you ate chocolate every day to the point where you got full, you wouldn't want to do it after a month. Yeah. But if it's just a couple of, nice amounts, it's sustainable. You enjoy it. You like it. And I think we've got to get enjoyment back in this business, because the grind that companies put in, do this, do that, do this, it's not enjoyable. But if you got the enjoyment around building the beautiful cake in your core area, like adding the ingredients, that's just an amount that you're looking forward to do, like the 2 hours of door knocking or 1 hour, whatever it is for you, we're all different. I think it's sustainable, and you will see results over time, and you will have the fuel to keep it going.
I love that, mate. You know, when you first talked about, you used the word McDonald'sizing this business. You know, now we might use the same metaphor of making a cake. I love that, man. For really almost the first time, I've never seen anyone be able to very clearly say, here's the cake, here's the ingredients. Now go and do it, and do it with the right energy in the right space. And everyone, again, and I know that we don't see very many Matt Steinwades in this business, but I know how confident you are that it's predictable.
Yeah, we should though. That's the thing. Where everyone, like, I've done nothing special apart from put something together which brings consistent results. Like, and because that's what I could see was missing. You know, people come and people go in this business and they scratch around trying to find. There's an abundance of opportunity, like abundance of like listings and people and like too much, actually, too much. It's how you see things, you know, and how you create something that suits like you. Like Twids, if you worked in a real estate office and I did, our styles would be totally different. Your desk would be very, very messy. But
how do you know, Matt? How do you know?
Yeah. But it's like Logan, the surfer kid. He's always in trouble at school because he can't sit in a classroom and think properly. Like kids, and they say, oh, that kid's got ADD or that kid's got, that's all cool. But it's like Logan learns by getting out there and running around and using his energy and that's where he thrives, you know? And it's like, but another kid would sit there and read and whatever. You got to tailor it to suit you. I think when I'm going to spend time with people in a room for a day, and look, let's be frank about this. It's probably people getting to know what they would expect there. If I'm going to sit in a room with people for a day, it's been a prompt of mine for so long, but I haven't been ready for it. Like I just haven't felt the intention was right.
Yeah. Like every year I've been saying, Matt, can we do a day? Matt, can we do a day? Matt, can we do a day?
Yeah. I just haven't felt right about it. It's like, but now I feel like I'm wise enough and I'm experienced enough that I want every person that comes there to walk out of there and have the results and have an understanding of how to generate the results and the life that they want. Because I reckon success is about achieving what's important to you, whether it's 500,000 a year, $1 million a year, whatever it is. But it's like, that's what I think I can help people do on this thing. And in a way that's like just personally tailored, you know, because it's very easy to help someone implement it. They've just got to understand how.
Yeah. And I love that, Michael. I want to hit Michael up, our first question asker. Dude, are you going to come down? In February, we got two options for you in February and March, one in Australia, one in New Zealand. Mate, I'd love it if you imagine mate, I look forward at 5 years from now, looking back for Michael on this. You know what I mean? On some random Facebook Live that he might have turned up on and what that could do to him. So, Michael, hope you make it, brother. That'd be very, very cool. Imagine spending a day with this dude, even just spending half an hour can be life-changing. How long you got, man? Do you need to run? When do you need? No, you're good? Cool. Melanie asks, if you needed, and look, you answer this however you like, that if this is the wrong question, because as I read this, I think, oh, Melanie might regret asking that based on the last answer, because Melanie typed this a while ago. But Melanie asked maybe 20 minutes ago, if you needed a listing fast, what would you do?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Is there any answer to it, or is it just you can't need a listing fast?
It's going to feel really like not the right answer, but it's probably like coming from a different place. When you need it, you won't get it. I would work on my energy to become receptive to meet the person who wants to list their house next. I know that might be totally off track of what she's thinking, because yes, you can have an expired strategy. Yes, you can have this, or you go and send this letter and that letter. The best way I can describe it is if you're in the zone, and when you're feeling in the zone, totally in the zone, and you're so in sync with what is going on around you, and then you get a call, hey, I want to list my house, or a friend says, oh, my friend wants to sell a house, I told her to ring you. that's how it happens. Like, you need to learn about the law of attraction and energy and how to implement it and how to become that. Your world will change within a week, 2 or 3. But if I said to you, go out and here's an expired strategy, go chase this, go do this, you're coming with an energy that's going to push it away. You won't find it. So I'd love to help her more on that, but it's like, that's a lifelong journey. But if you can learn to do that, your results will change within 30 days.
Can you think of any, Matt, any of your, and I know that, you know, the answer is stifle through, Melanie, all of Matt's stuff to learn a little bit more about that mindset, about that thinking, Matt's Monday Morning Starters and all of those things. But can you think of any one in particular of your episodes that might lend itself to being some more study for Melanie?
No, read the book called Money and the Law of Attraction by Esther Hicks.
Esther Hicks. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Money and the Law of Attraction.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right, Melanie, that's a big question and a bigger answer that you got from Matt. You know, some things maybe to think about are focusing on that. If you need a listing fast, are you right in the right space to be a listing agent right now? Or do you need to be working for someone so that you don't need it, but you can work on yourself? Anyway, big question. That's a big...
Stay what she's doing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, stay what she's doing. Yeah, for sure. But just, yeah, learn to change the frequency for sure.
Okay. All right. So, and again, Matt mentioned some strategy that you can, so if you can get the energy right, and then Matt mentioned some strategies like expireds and things, there are some answers that are more practical. But I tell you there, you know, you're here to learn from Matt, and that's Matt's answer is around energy and frequency.
And I'm not saying don't do the other things either. Like, I'm not saying don't send the letters, don't do this. But unless you put yourself, it's called the receptive mode. Unless you put yourself into the receptive mode and then do the other things, you're not going to find it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So Jane is asking, I am 3 years into the industry and really feel like my career has stalled. So 3 years in, career stalled. I'm pretty happy with the company I work for. I have okay systems. My prospecting could be better, but I feel like my head is exhausted.
I was just about to say, how hungry is she?
Yeah, and look at the wording. I am pretty happy. I have okay systems, and my prospecting could be better. So what should I do? What part of my business should I be looking at? So it's a good, interesting question, isn't it?
You need to do an overhaul on yourself. So she needs to understand what her why is. Again, I reckon she's lost her why. I reckon it's just, there's nothing big enough driving her. It's like, what is that thing? Because, you know, you can earn enough money, you can do okay and whatever, and then it just becomes a bit like, you know, like becomes a bit boring. But I reckon she needs to really think about what her why is. Maybe she needs to sit down and write her vision, you know, again, of what, you know, why are you getting up every day and going to real estate? Real estate is not the best career if you don't have something totally driving you. It's like too hard. So I think that's where I would go first and get that fire lit up again, and then the rest will sort itself out.
Nice. All right, there you go, Jane. I don't know if that's Jane that I know, but if it is, there you go, girl. You go get that thing. I love it. And I don't know if it's not, you know, whether it is or it isn't the Jane I know, who's in love with you, Matt, who's already bought a ticket to come and see. There is a Jane who's coming, already bought a ticket to come to you and hang out for a day with Matt. So that's going to be fun. Mate, tell me this, though, on that, and I know this isn't a shameless plug for it.
For outside of that thing, like during it, like on that day somewhere, let's get 10 minutes and sit down together and see if we can find it. If she doesn't have it.
Love it. See the benefits you guys are getting here on Facebook Live. I love it. Hey, on that, Matt, why because the New Zealand version of this in March, it's in Queenstown, isn't it? Why Queenstown of all places? Because I went there. It's lovely. Is it just that you want a freaking trip to Queenstown or something?
We bought a house there.
Ah, okay. So that's why we're going to Queenstown. Righto. I went there, man. I went there and I saw Huey Lewis, REO Speedwagon, and Melissa Etheridge in Queenstown. It was one of the best rock concerts I've ever seen. I traveled internationally to see it. Geez, that's a nice place. Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
airport's a bit of a mess getting into, though. They're dodging mountains and stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I've got to use our house. So, yeah.
So that's why. There you go. So definitely, if you're keen on a trip to NZ, folks, the trip over there, that makes it tax deductible to come over and hang out with Matt for a day in Queenstown. Joy is asking, 44 years old. And guys, we'll probably go for another maybe 2 or 3 questions. So if you do have any great ones, I'll get Naomi to get the best 2 more questions after this one, Noam. So I'll get that. Scott asks, this is an easy one. How do I get hold of the Matt Steinwede system? Is it still at Lee's site, Matt, or have you taken it off the market?
Agent school.
Agent School. Okay. Yeah. Agent School.
I just converted it from those CDs to basically video.
Oh, awesome. Cool. So go to agent. Is it agentschool.com or is it at mattsteinwade.com?
Honest, mate, they're better off coming to that day thing.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go, Scott. Come to the day with Matt. There's the deal. And I'll find out. I'll
get a lot more from that. Like, I mean, they'll get a lot from the system and looking at the videos and things, but I think being in the room, I'll help Scott, whatever. Cool. I think it's better to do that. Like, honestly.
Okay. Cool, Scott. Come and hang out with Matt.
He can just have agent school for free anyway if he comes.
Oh, there you go. So come along, Scott. So Gnomes, if you could figure out which Scott that is, and if it's the Scott I know, dude, do it. You'll get agent school if you come. So there you go. I love that. See, Matt, you're too generous. I need to get you selling more, dude. Stop giving it away. I'm just kidding, bro. I know, bro. I know. I love that friction that you and I have because I know that it brings out the best in me for me to be pulled back. And I hope I add something to you by kind of the craziness that I do as well. All right. 44 years old, Joy asks, 1 year into the industry has been an organic transition, but life is throwing overwhelming challenges. Energy levels completely spent, struggling to get through hour to hour. How do you recenter, rebalance perspective, retain focus and optimism? And her name is Joy.
Well, I think she is doing that. You need a good sleep, Joy, by the sounds of it. But it's like, look, don't take this. I get it, but it's not worth getting sick over. So when you're in this space of like everything's down, you really got to recognize that. You've got to sort of say, go and do something you love. Go and swim and go and take a day off and get recentered again. And just because you're focused, why that's happening is you're focusing on what's not going right. You're focusing on what doesn't feel good. You're focusing on the lack of results maybe, or it's too tiring, or I don't know, something. And you're manifesting that. Like, you cannot perform every single day, Twids. My goal is to perform at my highest possible level, my highest. So I invest the morning. You rang me this morning. I don't know what time it was, like
3:45 a.m.
But, you know, I was up, being in the gym, doing all that. You've got to take care of yourself first. If you're feeling like you're pumped, I'm 45 years old, Twids, and I'm on more of a health journey now than ever. I've always been very healthy, but now I'm like, how far can I take this thing? How good can it get? So you have to make sure that you're on this plane of like pumped, feeling good. When you feel great, you don't get like that. You know, diet, health, drinking, smoking, all of this sort of stuff. Like, you've got to take a real good look at what's going on there. And your commitment every day is to bring the best version of you. If you had a car, you were going to sell it, you'd polish the heck out of it and do that. People spend more time doing that than they do taking care of their inner self. But it's backwards. You need to take full care of your inner self, then go to work and kill the thing every day. Then you don't get exhausted. Yes, you get tired by the end of the day. But if you're really like humming inside, it's hard. It's hard. Like, I don't want the days to stop most of the time because it's like, I just want to keep going. You know, and that's after a long time of running fast. But I've learned to do that. That's where I reckon she's at.
Yeah. Wow, man. All right. Carl says, great session, guys. As if you're reading my mind, Carl, because I agree. I'm just sitting there going, man, for anyone who's not on this, you're missing out. Share it with your mates and say, you missed out on this live, but you can at least watch the recording because we're Facebook Live. And now, isn't it interesting how Facebook's changed the game, man? When we first started, it didn't even exist. And look at what it's done to our ability to impact thousands of people, both as agents or even as a coach like we're doing here. I love it, man. What's your take on that? I mean, on social and on how the world's changed before our very eyes.
I think it's important. I think people really need to start thinking about their personal brand in the marketplace because, although mine's not real estate, a lot of my owners, a lot of my marketplace watches it. So it's, but I want them to see that side of it. I want them to see a different dimension, but you do need to be clear on it. There's another agent here who was doing his social media who I'm sort of helping him with, but he was like a bit off track because he was just doing lots of different things. But he needs to build his profile as an agent. So he needs to be very agent centric, helping people, giving people info. So look, you're going to get left behind if you don't have a great presence there. And I mean, great presence.
Agreed.
I reckon in the not too distant future that you're going to see more filmers filming people. Like at the moment, I do it because Gary did it and you do it, or, Eric Thomas started it, I think. I don't know, something like that. Where it's like, I saw the link with that. So now like I have a full-time filmer with me all the time, but I'm very careful not to just produce the same content. So we're always thinking about how to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
And so it will be like, I reckon it will be one of the greatest listing tools that you will have. And if you don't have that space covered, at least building now, it's going to be very hard to do later.
Yeah. You're right, though. Isn't it hard to? And again, I'm deviating. This is a question from me, but I know that it's hard to come up with so much content in order to be saturated. Like it was easy to saturate when you could just do it with sold flyers and letters and stuff, but saturating online is another beast, isn't it?
It's hard if you don't stick to your lane. So when you stick to your lane, this is why it's really important. So it comes from in here out. When you're trying to do it to just impress people or contact people, it doesn't flow. When you're in your lane, it's like you're being told messages to what to do next, like it will come. So that's why it's very important to be clear on what's important to you that other people are going to connect with. So anyway, that's another discussion.
Yeah, it is. And of course, if Gary Vaynerchuk can do it with wine, we can do it in our businesses too, no matter what they are.
Totally. And that's a good example. Look how passionate he is about wine. He like ramble on about 20 minutes about one bottle of red wine. Like, that's what I'm saying to you.
Yep. Now, Naomi has said that this one needs to go through. Josh is asking that he wants to come to the Matt Steinwede Day. It's a good start, Josh. Good start, brother. Can you tell me what we will learn? Should buyers agents come as well? And I don't know, because he's saying, should buyers agents come too? Property managers and BDMs. No. I don't know which of those three you are. So my question is, Josh, which of those three are you? Should a buyer's agent come though? Some sort of...
No.
So this is for listing agents, yeah?
Buyer agents, no, I don't think so. Because I'm going to be basically showing people how to... listing is where it's at. Yes, I'm going to talk about some buyer stuff, but it's like, I want to show you how to dominate your marketplace.
Right.
So buyer agents shouldn't come. Property managers shouldn't come.
Is a BDM a sales agent effectively? Someone who's growing?
Business development manager, that's property management.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is a property management, are there hints of that? No? Okay. There you go.
This is going to be like, if someone comes, like I want people to get 1,000 times the value of what they're paying. I know you said, you said to me, you sort of gave it to me yesterday, Twids, when it's like when you said, that video that you did about apologizing for people to pay to come and see me, but it's just how I feel. I know. I've got to be certain that when people come, they're going to walk out of there going, whoa, that was worth $7,000 or $20,000. That's how I feel. And it's like, so the right people have to come, but I'm literally going to show people how to beat their competition, how to dominate their marketplace, how to create a life, all these other questions, how to create high energy, in your life so you can sustain a 30-year career. I want to show you not about just doubling and 2xing and 10xing. I wouldn't want to 10x my business. You can over time. I just want to help you achieve what's real for you now. And then the next year do it again. And the next year do it again. That's what I want. That's why I think sales agents only.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Great answer. And I'm sitting there, the selling person in me says, Matt, come on. But it's the right answer. It is the right answer.
Once it clicks in their brain, that they're going to have it. And then people in their marketplace over time are going to go, whoa, how did they become so successful?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it happen. I'm not trying to sell anything to these people. It's like, I've seen it happen, and I'm going to look at each one of their businesses, and I'm going to go, that's what they need to do here. This person needs to do that. Like, I've done it so many times that people haven't seen over the years when people ring me and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, once it clicks that part of their business, the rest will fly.
Yep.
Whatever that is to them.
Yep. Awesome, mate. I can't wait, man. I can just feel how electric it's going to be. And now I got it. No, you know what? I'm not even going to ask, because I know you're saying this is the time that it ain't going to happen again. But I also know that never say never in the world of Matt Steinwede. But it's unlikely, isn't it? That this is not kind of your bag. It's
not my thing. Like, I really just want to go and speak for an hour somewhere and go, like at a conference or something. I'm not really a seminar. Like, I want to just literally do this one thing, and then people contact me all the time. Like today, I think they did it as well, about the Matt Steinwede book. Where do I get the book? Where do I do this? And it doesn't exist anymore. I'm not printing it anymore. It's finished. That's it. But that was just then. So this one thing is just to get it out of my head, that I feel like I've had it for so long. I just need to get it out.
Yep.
And that'll be it.
Yeah, wow. And then I'll have to start wearing you down for another 5 years to do it again.
You know me.
Yeah, I remember once years ago, Matt said to me, Twids, next time you want me to speak, because it's hard to get Matt to speak, I can promise you, to come to a conference. Matt said to me once, Twids, next time you ask me to speak and I say no, just book me in and tell me 2 weeks later where I'm going.
Yeah.
It's been awesome, man. And is someone just? I think I might have one more. Okay, let me go one last question. We got one last one that they're putting in. All right, before I let you go, man. But hey, thanks for giving us this time, man. I've loved it, and I know if my enthusiasm has conveyed to the rest of the Facebookses that this could have been the one catalyst. Even some of these questions to change your life, whether it's Michael in Seattle or Rebecca with the multiple offers, etc. So last one is building it one contact at a time your mantra, Matt?
Totally. 100%. But here's the thing. If you learn how to do that properly, you will hit a point where you will start to drown. Okay? And then you need help. Because once you get to that point, it's a bit, be careful what you wish for. Mm-hmm. So then you need help to handle the $1 million in revenue, to handle the 2 million, to handle the 3 million, to handle the 100 listings, to handle this. It's like great getting there. And that's half of these people don't understand the fun part that they're at. It's the building phase. It's so fun. It's not funny. Even when you have nothing and you're eating tuna, who cares? Like, it is so fun. It's not funny. Because it is actually more harder to manage the volume. Then when they start, each one of these people will start get the volume. And when they start to manage the volume, the fun part of contacting one person each day and meeting what actually got you there becomes very difficult, because you start to lose the connection with that because you don't have time. So learning how to do all of those phases, that's the tricky part.
Wow, that's interesting, man, because even as you say that, I've noticed that in my business. In those early days where I only had a couple of dozen clients and I was helping each and every one of them one-on-one. Like, I'd go to Chris Gilmore's office every 2 weeks. I was in physically in it. Those were the days. These days with what we're doing now it's fun in its own way, but I can look back on those days fondly where I knew the name and surname and business of every one of my clients intimately. Now, unfortunately, I can't. So it's interesting. Same. Very interesting. I love it, man. Madeline Day Rossi says, been an amazing hour. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Very cool. Dude, thanks so much, man. We're catching up in a couple of days, man. I'm coming down your way. Love it. Can't wait, mate. Can't wait. All right, so everyone, go and tag on the Matt Steinwede video of your choice. Find one and put a nice comment on there, because if that's the energy from Matt was worth the time to tune in today. I agree, Dave. He's the best of the best, man. You're going to be fielding thank yous on Facebook for the next hour or so, Matt. So good luck with that. Have fun.
All good, Twit.
All right, bro. See you in a few days, mate. All right. Champion, mate. Thank you to everyone. Thanks again. Naomi behind the scenes for making all that happen. Thanks to Matt and Tara, his PA, for finding an hour. And Matt, of course, you're a genius, man. Thank you so much, Bud, for sharing those insights. And I can't wait for the day with Matt Steinwede. He is gone now and he hates it when I speak highly of him. But now that he's gone, I can say to you wholeheartedly, I can look at that camera, I can take these glasses off, I can look at you in the eye and say, find the link. It's around somewhere. You'll find it. Find the link to spend a day with that human and you will never, ever regret it. I promise you. And I say that with all the, you know what? If you don't and you feel it was a mistake at the end, I will personally, and I will not allow Matt to refund your money. I'll refund your money. It's not about the money. He hasn't done this. I've talked him into it for years. Come along and hang out. You won't regret it. And I can't wait. You never know. You might see Michael flying in from Seattle and a whole bunch of other legends that we've talked to today, changing their world for the better. And you're in very, very safe hands with that man. That much I can promise you. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to do a runner. Thanks again for hanging out. Hope you've had some fun. Hope you have a great day. And, we'll see you guys, real soon. Have a great Chrissy. If I don't see you or speak to you before, have a great Chrissy. And 2018, let's make it freaking phenomenal, guys. Thanks again to Matt. And, guys, see you on the flip side. Bye for now.